Hi everyone, this is Sharon, the Night Owl Scrapper, and today I wanted to share with you a tutorial. I don't know if you remember this card right here. This was a card I made for my mother back in May or late April, something like that. And I got a lot of people asking me to make a tutorial on the technique, on the background technique. So I'm going to do that now. This is basically the background that we're going to make. I don't know if we're going to use the same colors. But for this tutorial, what you're going to need your xyron machine. The bigger machine you have, the bigger the background you are going to be able to make. If you have the little, 2-inch one, you could also do little strips of background and make, I guess, borders and things like that. But I'm going to be using my 5-inch Creative Station because I'm going to make a, a relatively big background. You're also going to need rub and buff of your choice. I'm going to be using the gold leaf rub and buff. I'm also going to use some white tissue paper, tissue paper that you have laying around. You're going to need your alcohol inks, scissors or your paper trimmer, and your craft mat, because we're going to be working with the alcohol inks and you don't want to stain your your surface that you're working on. We're going to use some dark cardstock to start. It doesn't matter what size it is, as long as you know more or less the size of your background. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact size because you can trim it after this, and you'll see what I mean as we start. So I'm going to run it through my xyron. Okay, let's make sure, yeah. Alright, let's get that out of the way. We're going to make sure that this is very, the adhesive sticks right to the surface. And then we're going to put that to the side for now. We're going to take a piece of tissue paper, and it should be about 3 inches or 2.5 inches bigger than your actual cardstock that you're working with. So I'm just gonna eyeball it over here and get my scissors out. You don't even have to use your scissors, you can use your hands, but I'm just gonna use my scissors for now. Put the rest of it, the excess, aside, and I guess something like this would be big enough. Okay, doesn't need to be exact, and my fan's blowing, so more or less you could see how much bigger I cut it than the actual dark cardstock. And you're going to crumple it up really, really well. You want to really get this really wrinkly, if that's a word, full of wrinkles. That's what you want this to be. And then you're going to pull it apart. And I think I want a little bit more wrinkles here, so I'm going to continue right here. I learned this technique a while back, sometime last year, from my friend Dale. Hi Dale! And I really liked it, and I really liked the effect that it gives on my cards. So just wanted to let you know that. So we're going to take the sticker off our cardstock, because we're going to let the adhesive stick out. You get rid of this, put it to the side. Make sure this is really stuck on there, the adhesive, and then you rip it out. So as you can see, that's full of adhesive right now. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your crumpled tissue paper and you're going to lay it down on there, just like that. And you're going to make sure it's nice and stuck on there. Don't smooth out the creases because then you won't get the effect. You see how that's coming about already? And then what you do is you trim out all the edges. So I'm going to do that real quick with my trimmer because it's a little bit faster than if I do it with my scissors, and you'll see what I mean. See how fast? And right now I'm not even caring too much about the dimensions of this. You know, this is just for the tutorial, but you would want to make sure you're not cutting off too much, or whether, you know, you made the panel big enough for what you needed. But for the use of this tutorial, I really don't care how big this is. So that's my piece right there. I'm going to get my alcohol inks ready, my little mat, and excuse my mess, but I'm not using a big mat because it seems to reflect a lot of glare to the camera, so I'm going to use this. And I use this for my alcohol inks because they really stain a lot, this mat. And I haven't cleaned it, so let's get our alcohol inks out because that's the next step. You're going to use the alcohol blending solution, your tool. I'm going to take this off because this is a used one. Make sure you have a clean felt piece to work with. And then you're going to take the colors you want to use. For this particular one, I'm going to see, let's see, which ones do I use? I'm not sure. I'm going to use the citrus, the pool, and let me see if I can find a denim. Where's the denim? Or let's use this one, Stonewashed. So I'm going to use those three, and you know what? I'm going to sprinkle up. I'm going to use the raspberry as well. You could use 3 colors, 2 colors, 4 colors, however many you want. But I'm just doing this so you could see more or less how it works. I'm going to open these and leave them open. I just want to work fast because, you know, alcohol inks dry very quickly. And I am going to get my tool. Make sure this is well on there. And I'm going to put a few drops of the raspberry in there. A few drops of the citrus now. Of the pool. And a little bit of the Stonewashed. Alright, then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the solution, and then you're just going to stomp away. And what you're going to do is you're going to cover the whole area of your, you know, your tissue paper background. So that's it. I think I want to add some more citrus, so I'm going to get some citrus in here. Add a little bit more of the solution and fill in those areas that didn't get much alcohol ink the first time. So alright, let's shut this off. I mean, close this anyway. And let me bring it up to you so you could see. So this is what it's going to come out with. It's still a little wet because I drenched the paper with the alcohol solution, but that's easy to solve. Just get your heat gun, heat it all up, and you'll see when it dries right away, because all the colors will brighten up a little and it won't look as wet. It's so pretty. Okay, after you do that, you're gonna get, see how that looks? Very pretty. And the texture is amazing. You're gonna get your rub and buff, and I use my finger. You could use a sponge if you want, but I use my finger because I only want to use a little at a time. And I'm gonna rub very lightly on top of the tissue paper, just so the top ripples get some sort of color from the rub and buff, and it just brings out all the texture. It is very pretty. Another thing you could do is also you can spray your Lindy Stamp Gang sprays to give this shimmer, if you'd like. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more in the center here. I'm being very gentle. I don't want to put too much. I could always add more, but this is the result. And the reason why I used the black cardstock is just to give the background more richness, because since I used white tissue paper, so I'm going to do the same thing using the same colors on white cardstock and see if there's a difference. So follow me and see what happens. Alright, so I'm already done doing the white version of the black version I did before. I did the same colors, and the only difference was the background that I used. And the first one that you saw me doing was the black cardstock, and then the one you just saw me finished was in the white one. So as you can see, the difference is the richness of the color of the background. Obviously in a dark background it's gonna look a little bit more rich, obviously a little bit more of a darker background, and then if you use a white or light cardstock in the back, it's gonna be more of a brighter background. So as you can see, I used the same exact alcohol inks, yet you could see the totally different looks you get. So this one's the one in the white. This one's the one in the black. So you could use, as I said, any alcohol ink colors you like. This one's another one I made with mostly blues and greens. And this one I used a brown background, and I used caramel colors and I think a little bit of denim also color on there. And you could see each one is a completely different look. So it all depends on what you're working on, what your project is about. So I hope you try this out. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.